Hello, everybody. Ella J here on behalf of WrestleZone, and today I'm joined by the Fiesty Flame of Ireland, Amira. How are you today?
I love the way you say Ireland.
I'm so sorry.
Ireland.
I'm so American. I'm
I
so
love it.
sorry.
No, I adore it. I love it. I love it. I love it. Thank you very much for having me again. I think this is the third time.
Yeah,
No,
I've kind
once a
of been.
year.
Yeah, technically we didn't talk in 2023 since we kind of spoke at the end of 2022, but yeah, it's been about I want to say like maybe 16 months since the last time we spoke, and you have evolved so much, my friend. I mean, the last time we talked, you were still kind of in this process of finding yourself, but now I think it's safe to say that you have found yourself. You are truly the feisty and fearless and unhinged flame of Ireland. I don't know how you want me to say
Ah,
it. Um,
I love it. Just keep saying it exactly the way you say it. I think I have found myself. I think. I'm not too
I
sure.
think so.
I think.
Yeah, so from your own perspective, who do you think Amira is right now? How would you describe where you're at right now, character-wise?
I think if I have to describe Mira who she is right now, it is literally bold, fearless, not afraid to fight nobody, um, fiercely loyal, as you could probably tell, stand by her man through anything, will take any blow for anything. I took a hidden blade recently for Michael Oka, and it's one of the most over finishes in wrestling at the moment from the best wrestler in the world. I took a real hard hit to the face for the love of my life. And I think that is who Amira is down to a T. Like, is afraid of no one, will stand up to anybody. And I think as who I am at the moment, I think she is just herself. Like I think it's just me in wrestling form. I don't know. I think I finally found myself this year, and I think the wrestling world has kind of noticed me this year for the first time. And I'm like, wow, a lot of changes.
It's about damn time, I will say. It's about damn time y'all have noticed Amira. That fearlessness has worked for you. It's also worked against you, as you said. But at the beginning of the year, I feel like you kind of really summarized your evolution like pretty perfectly. You put out on social media that your NPC era is over and 2024 will be the year where you are the main character. And like we said, we talked about this a little bit last time, the process of finding yourself. But I'm curious, do you recall when you had that click or light bulb moment where you finally felt that you could give off this main character energy that you had been so longing for?
I think the NPC tweet gets talked about quite a lot behind the scenes because I think a lot of people were like, "How could you put that out publicly? That for the last 2 years you thought you weren't a
Mm,
player in the game." And truthfully, I didn't. I was okay with being a backstage character because I was still learning.
yeah.
I was still basically trying to get everything together, get who I was together, and I felt like at the end of 2023 to the start of 2024, I figured out who I was. I figured out what I want to do. I figured out exactly how to present myself the way I want to be presented. I figured out my lane. Nothing is stopping me. And I fully believe 2024 is going to be my year. It has started off incredible. I don't think it can get much. Like, I started off with the Jericho Cruise. I've won a belt. For the first time in Brit Rest, I finally have a little belt to myself. I've came off the Crystal Palace, man. 6 stars. I feel like it's a great. Obviously, I did not have the 6 star match. Oh my god! But I had a small part to play in it, and I feel like this is just it's momentum that keeps going up and up and up, and I just have to keep going. I've got big things planned for 2024, and I'm nothing's stopping me. I'm so excited for what is to come. And NPC era is well and truly over.
I feel like we were kind of talking about this last time, feeling a bit of pressure because you've also had a very tumultuous and very up and down career, let alone trying to find a name for literally a name for yourself, let alone character wise. But it seems that you've finally settled into something and that you've been working for, and it's been very consistent, still evolving, but finally something like of tangible for you to kind of base your character and identity off of. But as you said, that you are not only a wrestler, you are also a manager as well. Would you say that there's a major difference between your character approach as an in-ring competitor versus as a manager? Are they kind of blurring together?
I think the only thing we can probably say is different with the Valiant to when I am as a wrestler is what I wear. I just dress a lot more fancier when I'm at the side of the ring. I think the personality is exactly the same. And I think that it's very like it was important to me that Amira is still there. Like the character doesn't change and doesn't just become Michael Oku's partner. It's Amira at the side of the ring. And I don't think the two have changed at all because it's me. It's just who I am, turned up 100. And I think when you were talking about identity, I wanted to give this to anybody that's starting out because I really wish I knew this whenever I was starting out. You can go through as many different names and as many different gimmicks and as many different things as you want to do as until you figure out who you are. You don't have to be the first thing that you think of. And I think my journey has been a very public finding of myself. Like I've literally had 3 different names, 4 different gimmicks. I just didn't find anything that felt like me. And then one day I kind of decided, like I kind of like threw my stuff around after trying another gimmick that I didn't feel worked for me. And I was like, why can't I just be myself? Like, why can't I was kicking about? Why can't I just be myself? And then sure enough, I was just like, okay, why don't I just be myself? And that seems to
Mhm.
be the thing that works the most. I don't have like a trademark thing just yet. I don't have a thing that will identify me like that. I'm still trying to figure that out, and I still have time to figure that out, thank God. But I feel like I've settled who I want to be, which is just myself turned up to 200 a million. And that is who Amira is right now.
I love even before you kind of really became confident in this kind of unhinged character, you were the feisty flame. I feel like from the start you kind of knew, you laid the groundwork for it. You just had to, build yourself into that and get
Yes.
comfortable with that. And I feel like you're finally at that point where you're pumping the gas on that and you are just taking it by storm. And I'm so glad that you brought up, these spectacular outfits that you have. And obviously it kind of ties in with this recent match that we saw between Will Ospreay and Michael Oku. But for a minute, I want to talk about your look that night because you had this beautiful gold dress with this beautiful, extravagant, over the top headpiece that I was absolutely in love with. But was there like a certain significance behind this outfit and this headpiece? Tell us about the process of putting this together.
Yes, so there is a lot of well, what I thought this was going to look like and what it portrayed to me
Okay.
was that I really wanted it to be like because Michael Oku was his story is that he had to grow from a boy to a man and
Yeah.
to take on the beast that is Will Ospreay, and in that he kind of is presenting right now the ultimate baby face, the ultimate good guy, the ultimate like Christ-like figure of Brit rest at the moment. So I wanted to have like it was the inspiration was the Virgin Mary kind of peeps there. It was all beautiful, all whimsical, and then the dress came, and then I put it on, and as soon as I came out the door, Luke Jacobs, who I hope you don't mind that I plugged you in here, goes, "Oh wow, you look like the Statue of Liberty," and therefore no one can unsee that it looks like the Statue of Liberty. So
Bold. Okay, yeah.
yeah, so we've changed it. We've changed it up because of this, and that because everyone said it looked like the Statue of Liberty and thought I was doing Statue of Liberty. So now it's the Statue of Liberty, and we were fighting for Michael Oku, and I was literally liberating Michael Oku. That's the new story because no one got the actual reference that I tried to inspire it to. But I did. I loved what because I designed the dress. I designed everything. I went and
Yeah.
got it done by Call Me Sophia, a beautiful designer back in Ireland. Kind of captured exactly what I wanted it to look like, and I think that was whole part of the match. Spectacular of it was our looks when we came out, because it really was from kids to adults. And I really, really appreciate that dress, and I appreciate how yeah, there was a story behind it, but it probably didn't. It was not the story I was meant to tell, but we did the Statue of Liberty instead.
Lady Liberty does have the torch, and you do have flame in your nickname. So, like,
So that's it. So now we're going with that, and not what I was originally trying to do. But this one works as well.
it does. And like you said, that, that match specifically held a lot of significance for multiple reasons. It was Will Ospreay's last, I put in air quotes, nobody's ever really done with the indies, match ahead of his full-time AEW run. You were ringside. I know that was an emotional night for both you and Michael. So can you kind of talk more about the significance of his victory over Ospreay and the match itself and you being there?
Yes. The significance, well and truly, is that he needed to prove that he is the best that the UK has. Like, he had to prove he is the best the UK has to offer currently right now in the indies. And even though he had the heavyweight belt and he won it, I thought for me that would have been what, like, he has the prize to show he is the best in the UK. But then I figured out very quickly one day during last Crystal Palace that it wasn't about having the belt to show he's the best in the UK. He had to beat the best in the world. And if he did that, he could go to bed happy at night. And our lives can kind of move forward, because the day of that, the first Ospreay match really changed the course of our lives without any of us really knowing. Like, me and Michael, I think we agreed to do the match in 2022, not thinking it was going to do the numbers that it did and go as viral as it did. And especially for me, I kind of had no idea it would change the trajectory of my career completely. It then turned into me basically giving up a lot of my wrestling to focus on managing Michael, because in everyday life we kind of had to come together for other reasons. We had to come together and be together quite a lot. We went through this journey together, and we grew together in that. This match was the final, like, it's done, it's over. We can now start moving forward with our own careers and our own lives without Ospreay hanging over our head. Because for a long time, losing Ospreay has hung over our head. Me getting dragged over the barrier was brought up all the time. Even now, when Ospreay kicked me and gave me a hidden blade, that's now being the new thing that was talked about. But Michael getting the victory is at least the final nail in the coffin for the story. And I guess now we can start moving forward. And me and Michael have more work to do, more people to beat, more things to see. What else is out there? We've got a 6-star match under our belt now, so we can go anywhere and do anything. And we've got big plans for the future on who to take on next.
I think you may be the only woman to have a 6-star match in history. Just saying.
I don't. So I joke about that with Michael all the time, right? And then I feel guilty for making the joke, because yes, I'm in the match, but I do absolutely none of the hard stuff. Just stand there.
Still
I'm
part
not
of
great.
it.
So I do feel slightly guilty. I like to say a half a star's for me for taking the kick.
We can go with that.
It knocked me out. It near took me out of the building. So I'll give myself the half a star. Just put it in my pocket.
You and Michael are obviously kind of focusing on your own things now, but you've said obviously you've grown a lot. You've grown a lot and grown up together in these last 2 years. So can you tell us some things that you've specifically learned from Michael and absorbed into your own personal and or professional life?
Oh, that's difficult. And so apart from wrestling, we've been together for about 4 years now.
Yeah.
And know each other a little bit longer than that. And from the person I was when I met him to now, is a very different human being. Because when you love someone and you come together, you just grow together. And my life when I met Michael was I was living in Ireland. I was a makeup artist. I was just starting out my wrestling career. I don't think I thought to myself that I was going to go higher than maybe just do a couple of shows at the weekends. When I met Michael, I'm now living in the UK. Whole life's changed that way. I'm doing my dream job, which I don't want to say on. My shoot job is like my dream job, and I live with the love of my life. I've grown up so much as a person. My wrestling ability has changed 180s basically since meeting Michael. And as a couple, we basically are growing up together, and we were different parts of our lives when we met, and we both brought each other like different things when we came together. Like for example, just everyday life things. We've just helped each other grow, and it's made us into like such a strong unit now. Even outside of wrestling, we were already an incredibly strong unit, but coming together in wrestling and doing this act was one of the biggest challenges for us, because it's not something we both wanted to do. I don't think it's a secret out there that like me and Michael were not fussed on the idea of putting our wrestling careers together. However, now I don't think we would have it any other way, because it's been it's been incredible. Especially there was a moment at the end of the match, I don't think it was caught on camera, thank God, but there was a moment in the match where at the end I roll into the ring, and me and Michael have a little conversation with each other in the ring, and the conversation was like, can you believe we're here? Like, it's like, this is happening, like, can you believe we're here? I think I'm gonna get a bit emotional, but I don't think we ever thought we'd get to that little point of our lives, especially in our careers.
You're gonna make me emotional, girl.
Oh, I did. Making me cry. You do this to me all the time. But yeah, I just couldn't believe that we were here, and how incredible our lives were at that very, very moment. I don't think we'll ever get that kind of high and like emotion ever again. But wow, I can't remember the exact question. I'm so sorry. I just kind of went on a tangent, but oh my God. It's the best thing and the worst thing that we've come together as a act now, and I don't think we'd have it any other way. And I think before the match we kind of said to each other, like, maybe we should separate after the match. You know, we've got to the main point, we've got to the story, maybe we should separate after. And now I don't think we ever want to. Basically was the end of that discussion. So yeah, let's just see what the future holds for us now.
Yeah, you two have obviously been through a lot together, and you kind of alluded to this, but part of that journey was also moving away from Ireland and relocating to the UK. I believe in England now, if I'm correct.
Yeah.
You've said that you left. Now I'm self-conscious every time I say Ireland.
Don't be. It's my favorite. I love it.
You said that you left Ireland so you could improve and better yourself. Talk more about that decision and why you felt that moving to the UK would benefit you.
It was definitely the hardest decision I've ever made in my life. I am Irish through and through. All my friends were in Ireland. Everything in my life was out. My whole life was in Ireland. I would literally be moving, not for a job, not for nothing, just to take a risk on myself. And at this point, I actually wasn't going out with Michael. I didn't really know Michael. I was always planning just to move to the UK myself. And I decided to do that during the pandemic because I really wanted to give wrestling a proper go. I wanted to know that at that time, oh God, I was 23 when the pandemic happened. Oh, I'm not that age now. But at that time, I was like, I'm 23. I'm sat here for 2 years and did nothing because everything has happened. So once this is done and once I can get out of the country, I'm going to really pursue it and just give it a go. And it's literally been the best decision I've ever made in the world. Yes, I miss home every single day. It is probably still not as easy, even how many years now has it been? 2.5 years.
About 2.5, 3, yeah.
Wow. It's still it doesn't get easier, but it's been so beneficial. And I would never have the growth in the life that we have if I didn't move, if I didn't go and try and grab the opportunity by the horns. So Yeah, I highly recommend it if anyone's out there and you feel like where you are in your where you're living is holding you back, to just go out there and give it a go. Because what's the worst that can happen? You just move back home.
That is true. You know, like we said, you've been in the UK for 2.5, 3 years now. In what ways have you seen yourself improve and grow as a person and as a competitor, character wise, obviously? But what other ways have you seen yourself grow since the move?
In my personal life, I grew up very, very, very quickly. Um, I learned a lot about just everyday life that I don't think I would have learned back home. Um, Character wise, I think I learned to kind of my my wrestling persona is very loud and very in your face, and sometimes that is very much like me in real life. But I think I learned to calm down quite a lot as well. As for my wrestling personality, what have I learned from coming over here? Um, I can't really think how coming to coming to the UK has really changed that. I think it's just still being myself. I just think in my personal life everything changed. I think I've met some great friends here I would have never met. I I'm literally in I hope you doesn't mind me saying it, Alex Windsor's house right now, having about to go get Michael Oku, about to go and have dinner with them and enjoy myself. So yeah, like I don't think these people would be in my life if I didn't move to UK, and they helped me grow so much as well to be the person I am today.
Well, let's talk about one of those friends, or rather, frenemy, Sapphire Reed. I previously
Oh,
spoke
don't.
to her.
Oh, don't. Oh,
I
don't. You haven't
will.
brought her up in my interview.
I
Oh, no.
did. I did last time. I brought you up in her interview, so I have to return the favor.
Oh,
We
no.
spoke about this kind of weird dynamic between you guys. So I
She
wanted to
will.
hear it from your perspective. Tell us about this dynamic between you and Sapphire Reed. You were also her first match, I believe.
And she hasn't left me since. She's been the herpes in my life ever since I met her 2 years ago, like 3 years ago now.
Yeah.
I can't believe she's being brought up in my interview. So basically, right, she needs me to be relevant. Yes, she's a very good professional wrestler, but everyone brings me up in her interviews because she tortures me and then I own her online.
Okay.
She'll always try and come for me all the time, and I just own her. And she gets really upset about it. But for real, she is the one of the best people I have ever met. I love her with all my heart and soul. Our story literally begins. We She had her first match, and I got a DM from her shoot name. I nearly said it there; she'll kill me. Saying hi. I have a match with you. I'm scared. Can we learn how to? Can you go for it with me? And we sat and worked in the training ring for it. We go and have our first match together. It was my third match, I think. She was my third, and I was her first. And we have not a great match, but it's still a match. And we just became friends ever since. And she's kind of followed me on a journey. I'm very, very out there, as you know, and you probably gather with Sophie. She's more quieter.
Yeah, we were talking about that. I feel like it balances each other out, though. She's very more introverted, but you're very outgoing. But yeah, we did touch on that.
Yes. So she wouldn't do any. I couldn't get her out of the house. I said, "You should come to this show. You should come do this. You should come crew here." She just was so scared of her own shadow, and I physically drag her around all these places. I throw her in front of all these people, and I say, "This is Sapphire Reed. You just have to book her once, and then you'll not have to ask twice." And sure enough, there's actually a video of it where she comes and sees me on my debut of Eve, and I walk past her in the audience, and I scream in her ear, "This should be you!" And then I throw her to the side, and then I go up and do my match. And later on, she comes with me to another show. I shove her in front of everyone. I go, "This is Sapphire Reed. This is her." I say hello, Sapphire. And eventually she has her debut match. And now look at her. She was the women's champion. She surpasses me every time. I'll introduce her to someone, then she'll surpass. Then they'll all love her, and then they forget about me. That's the cycle. but I wouldn't have it any other
You
way.
literally can't forget about Amira, you know, your energy, you literally can't. But I'm so glad that you brought this up. Like you said, Sapphire is a former Eve champion, but you've
Yes,
also
yes.
certainly made some standout memories at Eve, specifically in Rumble matches. The one
No,
year you did your best, I don't even know if I can say this on here,
you
slag
can't say
impression.
any of
You
the.
also sported a pair of fake boobs.
Yes, yes, I do. They're still in my car. Yes.
Tell us about your history at these Eve Rumbles and kind of your thought process going into them.
There is no thought process. I wish I could tell. Let me tell you, the Eve Rumble where I'm dressed as sexy Theresa May. We'll say that on the camera. Um, where I came out with some fake boobs. That was decided on the day because unfortunately my giant dick costume, inflatable dick costume, did not arrive on time. It was 2 days late, so I had to scramble together and come up with the second sexiest thing I could think of, which was Theresa May. The first one being Laura Di Matteo, who is the sexiest
Yeah.
person in wrestling.
Yeah.
So yeah, the logic behind them is I just get up and we'll see what happens. I wish there was some deep, meaningful thoughts behind them, but there's not. I just get up and I think, what would be the most outrageous thing I can put on my body
You
and
do
try and
have this
wrestle it?
you do have this reputation in those matches now that it's kind of a tradition now. So I'm curious, do you have any plans to elevate yourself or elevate the slag for next year's Rumble?
Yes, yes. Oh, I've got one, and she's gorgeous.
Oh.
She's radiant. I cannot wait to bring her forward for the next year's Rumble, if we get that far. But yeah, there's some costumes in the works. My latest one, my Britney Spears that I did in Riot Cabaret.
You are brilliant. You were reading my mind. Go on. I was going to ask you about this. Let's go. Let's go.
That is something I've been planning for too long. I've done 2 Britney cosplays. I think one of them didn't land very well. I didn't look as Britney as I wanted to be. So then I made sure, all right, if I do it again, I'm gonna look exactly like Britney. I'm gonna spend double my wages I probably would have got on that show to look like Britney, and I made sure that it worked. And yeah, I was in that Rumble for 23 seconds, maximized every single second. So yeah, proud of my work for Britney. I want to do it again for a lot more minutes. I have a lot more songs to sing,
For
and
those
that's it.
for those who don't know, like you said, it was Britney Spears versus Christina Aguilera at Riot Cabaret Pro Wrestling, or you versus Cassius. You know, first of all, what an iconic face off. But I mean, tell us about this face off and just how this unique kind of situation came together.
It's called turning up at the venue and demanding that you get a spot. I was
Darn.
not meant to be in that Rumble. I was not even advertised. And I begged. I just seen it. It was the 2000s Rumble, and I was like, "This is me. I have to get in there." So I begged the promoter. I sit on my knees, and I'm like, "Please, please let me be Britney Spears." And he was like, "Right, you got 30 seconds." And I said, "Give me 20." And then I ran and did Britney Spears as best as I could. But it worked. Then I got a return booking, so yay for me. Sometimes just turn up with an idea and a dream, and it might work.
Did you
Maybe.
come prepared with that, Brittany? Obviously you
Yes.
did. If okay, yeah, come prepared.
Yeah.
Bring your gear, no matter what it is. Bring
Bring your gear.
your
Always bring your
gear.
gear. Some of my best matches, or like best things that have happened to me, have been from just bringing my gear and hoping for the best. Truly, and this one was just no exception.
Oh man, I love the photos of that. You know, Brittany has had some iconic looks, and so have you. I'm so curious though, who would you say are some of your icons or inspirations within the realm of fashion and style?
JLo, everything JLo. It comes out like it's the first thing I love her. I love her fashion. Her fashion speaks to me. Such a person. Oh, Shakira as well. I do like anything from Shakira. I'm feeling the new Miley era. I might pop off and do a new Miley Cyrus dress. It's in spoke. She's really catching my attention at the moment. renew. She's got a new song at the moment, and the design of the dresses are just stunning. I'm trying to think of other inspirations. Most of them, like most of my big dresses for shows, I design myself. So I would go to a designer, and she brings it to life, but I would kind of draw it out and say exactly what I want. Like the ball gown, for example, I wore at on All In Weekend at the Copperbox show. I can't remember the name for the show for the life of me. I swear I took a pile driver from Trent 7. That one I designed myself, and that one I literally designed just for that spot, just because no one thinks of doing something crazy in a ball gown. And then this last one was that's just what I would have wanted to wear at the side of the ring at the biggest match of my career. If I could, if what am I trying to say? If I could make it into gear, I would have made that kind of look into gear. So this is the dress form. So yeah, that was the inspiration. Those are the inspiration, the fashion ones.
And you kind of talk about, interesting spots. I would be mistaken if I didn't bring this up. In 2022 and 2023, you went on some tours of the US, and you finally got to kind of confront two of the women who've kind of not stolen your identity, but kind of stolen your identity. Because the running gag is that one, that you and Amaris Blair are the same person, but there's also Amira Laura Lukens, who also sometimes just goes by Amira. So you got to meet them. I know I saw you slam Amaris's face onto the ring campus. Tell us about Tell us about your confrontations with them finally in person.
So it was just one of those things that, do you ever get when the universe just makes everything make sense?
Yes.
I was at All In Weekend in LA. I didn't even know where the first Amira is from. I'm sorry, I'm the first Amira. This is the second Amira, but this is American division Amira. She's great. She's fantastic. I meet her, and she is the lovely. You ever get you just want to square up to someone because you want them to be a bad person, but they're just delightful and gorgeous and fun. That was Amira. I just happened to see her in the venue. I couldn't believe it. I was like, oh my goodness, that's the girl I've been torturing online. So we had a little strike off because we had to do something. So we had a little strike off of each other to fight back for the name. But to be honest, we decided that she represents the American division, I represent the British division. So that's what we decided in that part. And then weirdly enough, I was going to Texas where Amaris Blair lives. Amaris Blair, yes. Where she lives, and I just seen her, and I was like, let's have it out, let's go. And we did. And it was very funny. In hindsight, I believe I could have just probably kept Amira Blair, and maybe no one would have cared after a couple of weeks. But now that I'm just Amira and there's another Amira, it is getting a little bit difficult now, so I have to think of something.
What else can you do?
I can't do it anymore. I cannot change my name again.
No, you have to keep Amira.
I have to keep Amira just because of all the things that we've built now around Amira. We can't just change it. If Michael marries me, it could become Amira Oku, but
that's true.
Ask him that one. I can't put any more pressure on it. But all jokes aside, I'm pretty happy. I don't think we're going to change it for a while. I'm pretty happy. It's a running joke now, and I think it's very weirdly worked out really funnily for all of the three of us together. I think it's a nice running joke that a lot of the scene do know about, and yeah, it brought a lot of community together.
It also ruins your cage matches though, because we were talking about this last time. On Amaris, she's in the UK one day, and then Texas the next day, or on the same day sometimes.
Yeah,
it is funny.
It is the other Amira gets it a lot harder. I feel really awful for her because there's been so many times she's done really, really cool things. And the only reason I know she does the cool things is because I'm getting tagged in them. She wrestled for TJPW. Yeah. And I felt really awful because I was getting tagged in so much of her stuff, including the posters from the company. And I felt like, God, this is where it gets difficult, because that's a really cool achievement for her. That's amazing for her. I am so proud of her. Everyone should check out her match, by the way, that she had there, because I did. It was very, very good. I just wish that there was a little bit more distinction between us, so that way she gets the credit that she deserves, for all her hard work that she puts in, because she does. She works very, very hard over in America. So yeah, it's a little bit annoying, but we'll get through it.
You know, all three of you are lovely and amazing women in wrestling, and kind of in that spirit, final question, it is Women's History Month, you know?
It
So
is.
in that spirit, tell us about some women in wrestling who've inspired or empowered you in house so.
Oh, well, I am a girl's girl, so
You
this is
are.
a long list. Oh, Alex Windsor inspires me to be a stronger version of myself. Danny Luna inspires me to be the best version of myself physically. Sapphire Reed gives me so much patience, because if I didn't have her as a friend, I would not need the patience that I have to deal with her. My mother, my sister give me so much love and care. They are truly amazing. But my nana was the person that raised me growing up. She is just my whole life and my world. My best friend, one of my best friends, Brooke, she keeps me humble. She makes sure I keep my stuff intact. I'm trying to think of I'm gonna name these all in a bunch because I could go on all day. Victoria, Polly, Keely. I'm trying. Oh God, every woman in my circle truly is one of the best, like the best examples of Women's History Month. Each one in their own way shows their strength and how amazing that they handle their lives and how to handle everything that a woman has to go through. And truly, they like are the representation of what makes me proud to be a woman. Yeah, it's such a I didn't realize how not that I'm saying it, like how much all these people do actually mean to me until I'm saying it now. And there's so many amazing women that I haven't named, and I know for the life of me it's not going to come to me, that inspire me to keep going and keep moving forward. And there's a lot of women in wrestling, I guess, that have these like inspire a lot of people. Like even you growing up, I'm sure yourself, like you can name 100,000,001 women that when you were growing up in the wrestling scene that really inspired you. So yeah,
Yeah.
like
Yeah, I know, like Laura Di Matteo was one for you, especially when you moved over to the UK and you got to
oh
wrestle
my
her.
god, see,
Now,
I knew I was forgetting that Sky Smithson,
yeah.
Nightshade, Rio Riley. Oh, don't start. I'm gonna forget all these people
Okay.
that are in my circles and in my life. And but everyone on the Eve roster, for example, truly what we have in Eve, the roster are a prime example of like what women like Women's History Month is. Like the support we have each other in the back is one of the best locker rooms in the world. It really, really, truly is. The love that we all have for each other and the want to see us all succeed and the want to see us all grow is prime example of it.
Yeah. You know, what a lovely locker room that is, and we look forward to seeing what you have next year for the Eve Rumble. We're gonna make sure Dan book her. That's all. We're gonna start the campaign. But before we let you go, can you please share where the listeners can find you online?
You can find me at Amira Wrestler on everything. Please come join the party. Instagram, Twitter. That's all I have. So
The
yes,
beaut
please.
and the beautiful thing about following you is that you basically get a surprise every day. You don't know what
Every
Amira
day.
is going to post. It's like
I don't know.
it's a gift every day. The gift of Amira that keeps on giving. Thank you so much for joining me
Thank
here
you
today,
so
Amira.
much.
It's been an absolute pleasure.
It's been amazing to have you. Thank you very much for having me again. See you next year.